Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Just doing a wee quick Saturday morning video, wee bit of a supplementary pre-match preview of the St Mirren match at 3 o'clock this afternoon at Celtic Park, and looking at a player who looks like he's going to need to replace Daizen Maeda for the rest of the season, and the obvious candidate to step up to replace Daizen Maeda on the left is going to be Luis Palma. And I'm going to pop in a wee highlights reel of Luis Palma's first half to the season, where he was actually an important player for Celtic, third top scorer and second for assists prior to the winter break. Of course, his form has dipped since that time. And he has, of course, missed the last 4 games, with his last game being against Dundee on the 28th of February. He then was on the bench, unused, for the Hearts 2-0 loss in what's known as the John Beaton re-refereeing game. Then he picked up an injury and has been out since that time. Story is he's had a very good 10 days of training since he's recovered from his injury. He was touch and go for the Rangers match last weekend, but Rodgers kept him off the bench. However, he's had an excellent week, it would appear, in training, and appears to be back to his full fitness, and is expected to go straight into the team on this afternoon. Just a wee reminder of Luis Palma's stats for Celtic this season in all competitions: 30 appearances, 11 goals, 13 assists, and also 8 yellow cards. However, in 2024, he's had 9 games with 2 goals, no assists, and so quite clearly his production has gone down. His first goal this year was against Bucky in the Cup, and then his most recent goal was against Motherwell, which was a goal deep in stoppage time on the 25th of Motherwell, just before his last game, which was the Dundee match. So, just going to pop in a wee highlights reel with the copyright disclaimers, and then we'll then have a wee chat about my predicted lineup for the St Mirren match, and where I can see Celtic winning the game with the help of Luis Palma, and also a wee quick word regarding something that Brendan Rodgers was saying in yesterday's press conference, which some people will think is a good thing, and some people may think is not such a good thing. So, without further ado, we'll just pop in the Luis Palma highlights reel for his goals, assists, and near assists and near goals for the first half of this season. So obviously Luis Palma is a very, very different player to Daizen Maeda. Daizen Maeda has that incredible engine, incredible ability to shut down opposition fullbacks, centre backs, and midfielders. Tremendous ability to work back. When he's at his best, he has very good final ball, pass, and cross. And when again he's on form, he scores goals for Celtic. And it is very frustrating that he has been one of Celtic's best players for the last few weeks. He had an excellent first half against Rangers last Sunday, completely confusing and tormenting James Tavernier for that first 45 minutes when Celtic were so on top. I do wonder whether his hamstring tweak that he's now suffering is started to flare up in the second half last Sunday, because he did seem to fade away late in the game and wasn't so much of a threat and wasn't keeping Tavernier occupied in the Rangers half. Daizen Maeda has an upper hamstring tendon injury, from my own knowledge and some research online. Typically, if these injuries are mild, we're talking 3-4 weeks out. The more moderate ones, 8 weeks, and the more severe ones, 12 weeks. And of course, Leila Bada, who would appear to have had something similar last year, was out for the best part of 4 months with a similar injury. I've seen a few websites quoting that Maeda might only be out for a couple of days. I cannot remember ever in 50 odd years of watching football that a player has ever been out for a couple of days with a hamstring injury. We're talking a couple of weeks or more. As I said, I think it's looking like probably a month or so at the very best for Maeda to be out, which of course would bring him back for the last game or two of the split and bring him back for the cup final, potentially, if we beat Aberdeen next weekend. So getting back to Luis Palma, very different player. Luis Palma, as we can see from the highlights reel, when he is at his best, good long-range shot, good at getting into the box, good finisher, good instincts in and around the box, some wonderful crosses and passes. The pass for Matt O'Reilly's goal in the 4-1 win against Hearts was brilliant. The cross to James Forrest at the back post against Ross County, again, a brilliant ball. And excellent goals against Ross County and Atletico Madrid, and a very important goal first time around against Motherwell last year as well. So Luis Palma, not really the conventional winger that beats the fullback on the outside, hits the byline and then gets the ball into the box. Tends to be a player who goes inside the fullback, cutting in towards the box, and releasing the ball on the ground, such as his pass to Kyogo, or can hit the ball aerially, such as for Matt O'Reilly. And I could see him working very well with both Ida and with Kyogo as our main striker, and also good at feeding the attacking midfielders, Hatate, O'Reilly, etc., and also setting up Kuhn or Yang or Forrest coming in off the other wing. So I can see Luis Palma being a very important player for Celtic for the rest of the season, deputising for Maeda. Palma does actually have also the ability to press and harry the fullbacks and centre-backs. He does have the ability to cover back into midfield, and so he can partially replace Maeda that way as well. So coming to today's predicted lineup against St Mirren, just a wee recap of what I was predicting yesterday after finding out about the injuries to Scales and to Maeda. Prediction was Hart in goals, Johnston at right back, Carter Vickers and Mike Navrocky, as I'll please pray that Rodgers doesn't put Stephen Welsh anywhere near the team or on the bench. Greg Taylor at left back, Tomoki Iwata at the number 6 role, keeping McGregor on the bench, keeping McGregor fit and free without recurrence of injury for the Cup semi-final and the final 5 fixtures. Does look like it's probably just too soon to start McGregor, I think. Hatati and O'Reilly in the more advanced roles, Kuhn on the right side out wide, and Palma coming in for Daizen Maeda on the other side, and I'm suggesting Adam Ida to start with Kyogo on the bench. I think Adam Ida's ability in the air may well be quite useful as an alternative way of attacking St Mirren. Kuhn and Palma can both cross the ball aerially as well, and again Johnston and Taylor also skilled at delivering the ball in the air for headers. Ida also has a lot of pace, a lot of strength, and is a good finisher with 6 goals in his 9 Celtic games so far. And so I think Ida to start today, and then Kyogo coming back in for the Cup semi-final next week. And with that, I'm hoping, expecting, believing Celtic's going to get a nice 3-1, 4-1 victory this afternoon and put the pressure on our big rivals who are up in Dingwall live on Sky Sports. And hopefully Ross County can do us a wee favour, or Dundee can do us a wee favour next Wednesday in the rearranged fixture, which hopefully will be on the wonderful Dens Park pitch as is scheduled. Finally, just a wee update on what Brendan Rodgers was saying at yesterday's press conference. He was asked by one of the journalists about an update on how the scouting team and recruiting team appointments had gone. Rodgers was saying that he actually has had an increased role in the scouting and player recruitment since Lawwell and Dudgeon left. He did say that there are moves to bring in new head of recruitment and new head scout, but he said that there are already a lot of talented people in both teams working behind the scenes, but he has taken an increased role at the moment in player recruitment, player transfers, and player development. And for me, that's not necessarily a very good thing. I know a lot of folk didn't like the head scout, didn't like head of recruitment Mark Lawwell, but I don't like Rodgers' history as a manager recruiting and analysing players. We did a couple of videos last year highlighting Rodgers' success rates or lack of success rates at Celtic, Leicester and Liverpool in that field. However, more encouragingly, Rodgers did say that he and Celtic are very much looking at improving youth development, bringing through young players from the youth teams into the under-19 team, and then into the first team squad. And he is saying that he is particularly looking at bridging that gap for players who are too old for the B team but haven't quite got the experience to get into the first team squad, and was saying that he's looking at and is working with the coaches and the development people at bridging the gap for players like Lawal, Mackenzie Carse, Rockovata, Kelly, etc., trying to get them into first team football, and also improving on the success rate of loan moves, as is the case for quite a few of our young talented players at the moment. And as one wee final thing on players on loan, Rodgers was full of praise for Mikey Johnson, saying how well Mikey Johnson was doing at West Brom. Mikey Johnson won English Championship Player of the month for March yesterday. Rodgers was kind of implying that at the end of his loan deal at West Brom, Johnson's going to be coming back to first team contention for the 24-25 season. I am not that hopeful that Mikey Johnson's going to play as well for Celtic as he has done for West Brom. Johnson, when he has been away on loan, has played well, but then come back to Celtic and been very, very patchy and inconsistent. This time around, he has managed to avoid injury in his spell from August to January at Celtic, and has avoided injury so far at West Brom since his loan deal in January to current. And so that is reassuring, as loss of form and recurring injuries was what's plagued pretty much the whole of Mikey Johnson's career at Celtic. So just to finish off, for those new to the channel, please do click that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Get the numbers pushing up past 460 again. If you've enjoyed the video, please do click that like button, and do feel free to pop pleasant, polite, constructive, informative comments in the comment section regarding the team, the match this afternoon against St Mirren, and any other Celtic issues, and we can start a wee chat debate on the channel. So that finishes things off for today. Planning to do another video which will be a post-match reaction of the Celtic v St Mirren match sometime tomorrow afternoon, before the women's match, which is at 4:10. And so until then, good luck Celtic. Please, please win it for all of us this afternoon against St Mirren. Get our lead up to 4 points. And so goodbye and hail, hail.